As we all know, tomorrow is the federal fund rate and the FOMC meeting. Look at it at this very point on Forex Factory. We have this by 8 p.m. local time. Market is going to definitely react to this very Fed interest rate decision and the FOMC meeting. Now, the most important thing right now is the fact that a lot of person in the Telegram channel right here are asking about the downside risks of Fed decision, and that is what I want to discuss in detail in this very video. So will Bitcoin, from where this right here, move all the way to the downside, or we're going to see the market begin to move upward? And also for ETH, this is very important. Will the market move upward a little bit before correction? That means we should see the market move upward before the market come back down, and then the final move all the way to the upside. And if you look at this very area on coin market cap, you discover that the market is not really doing well in the last 24 hours. Market has been very static. So let's discuss all of this and put things into perspective as we await the Fed interest rate tomorrow. Look at it right here. One important thing I found out on this very price action is that the bottom is in already. And I've been talking about this on this very channel for the past few days. Look at it at this very point. Market, in my opinion, from the Fed interest rate, be it the cut rate or the keep rate unchanged, I am expecting 60% the market should retrace back to the downside. Look at it at this very point. You discover that the market has already moved upward. Look at this very move to the downside, and the market retracement, come back down, retrace upward again, create a new high, and the market come back down. So I am looking at 60% the market should from here come back down, okay, because market has already moved prior to the Fed interest rate decision. And then afterward, maybe after a few days, market is going to begin to move upward. Now, for those of you guys looking at this very perspective, which is 60%, I believe market is going to come back down. I am looking at market not going below this very point. So if you are looking at the downside risks and you are looking at market going into 65k, or market going into 70k, or market going into 72k, personally, that is not what I am expecting on price action right now. I believe that the downside risks for Bitcoin obviously stop at this very area right here. That is the $74,000 and $75,000. That is my personal opinion right now on the price of Bitcoin. That means market should not crash below this very area right here. I don't see that happening on price action. Of course, everything is possible in crypto, anything can happen, but personally, this is what I am expecting right now. I am not expecting that the market go below this very area of $74,000 and $75,000 per Bitcoin. So the worst case scenario we can see is for this market go back down into this very area, and then we have the market begin to push back up aggressively. When I mean aggressively, I mean very aggressively all the way to the upside. What that also translates into is if we see the Fed interest rate, be it the keep rate unchanged or the cut rate by 25 basic points or 50 basic points, and we see the market move upward, I believe 40% market is going to move upward after rate cut, 40%, and then we are still going to see the market correction. So despite the fact that market moved upward, I still expect market to correct before the next move to the upside on the 1 day chart. This is very important. So what that means in practice is the fact that if the cut rates or the keep rates unchanged, market should retrace 60% to the downside before movement all the way upward. And the downside risks, that is the worst case scenario we can see the Bitcoin price go into, is this very area of $74,000 and $75,000 in my opinion. And this is what you should pay attention to right now. And that is why I believe that from where the market is right now at this very point to this very area, and that the market has bottomed out, okay, within this very area is the bottom for me, and that market is going to from this very point to move upward. So this is what you need to pay attention to right now on the price of Bitcoin 1 day chart. And if I switch back to the 4-hour chart, you discover that The 4-hour chart look very bullish for me from this very standpoint. I believe that the market can move upward, okay, and the market coming back down, look at this very area, can only move into this very point, and then we see the market move upward as well. But it will be wise for you to wait for this very market to break out on this very level of resistance at this very point, very important area of resistance, and this very point of support. This is a very nice V shape or V pattern formation. A breakout here, I believe, is going to make the market shoot all the way to the upside, approaching $95,000. That is, if market push upward and break out here, $95,000 market is going to begin to push even much more. And if the market break out on this very point right here of $84,000, then we're going to shift back into 80 and $78,000 on the price of Bitcoin. This is what I am now expecting on this various price action. And if you come to ETH 1-day chart, from this very area, I am looking at the market also retrace back down, because if you look at the movement, market move from this very point at this very area, come back down for continuation, and then we see this retracement, market come back down a little bit, market push upward, retracement. So this is our entire retracement right here, or corrective move. Market from this very point, in my opinion, have to retrace, okay, that is come back down in form of continuation. So if we see the market from here continuation, and then this whole move is retracement, then there should be continuation. And what I want to see is field swing. Once we begin to see the market come back down a little bit, okay, which I expect the market to do, 50-50 chance for Ethereum, 50% after Fed rate cut, market is going to from here move all the way to the downside, and 50% market is going to from here move upward. But even though market begin to move upward, I don't trust that move. It's not going to last long. Market is going to still retrace, because the market have been buying for some days now on the price of ETH. Now, if you were asking about the downside risks for Ethereum, personally, I am not expecting Ethereum to go below $2,100 and $2,000 per ETH. So no matter the matter, and we see the market begin to drop crazily all the way to the downside, I am not expecting the market to drop below this very area right here of $2,100. This is my personal opinion. What that means is the worst case scenario for ETH after rate cut is for the market to come into this very area and begin to bounce off. That is the worst case scenario that I am expecting on this very price action. That means it may not be worse, okay? We may not see the market move all the way into this very area. We can just see the market move a little bit to the downside, not getting into this very point, and then begin to move upward. And that is what I am expecting. But, you know, you can't really predict price accurately 100% all the time, okay? A lot of the time, market will have a way to trick you out, which is also very okay. But what I am expecting is for the market to move back to the downside, and then the next move upward after Fed rate cut. So like I said earlier, even though you see the market begin to move upward, I will not trust that move, because I personally want the market to retrace a little bit, okay, before the next move to the upside on the price of ETH for hours and 1-day chart, especially on the 1-day chart right here. Expect the market to retrace back down before the next move to the upside. This is what you must have to pay attention to right now on the price of ETH. Now, one thing on the price of ETH that I also want to pay attention to is the way the market is reacting from this very point. See market move upward, come back down, move upward, come back down, and right now we're seeing this move in progress. However, I don't believe that this very move is very strong from the bears. That means we are not seeing much bear pressure within this very area, and that is why we need to pay attention to the Fed interest rate and what happened on price action after the Fed interest rate. Okay, this is very important. So this is what I am not looking at right now on this very price action ETH/USDT 1-day chart. Very importantly, and if you come to coin market cap, you discover that the global crypto market capitalization have stayed above $3 trillion for a couple of days now. And if you see the fear and greed index, of course, still in the fear zone, but this is just a mild fear zone area, as you can see at this very area. Altcoin season index is still very, very low, which also point to the fact that we need to see the market begin to approach this very area a little bit. So these are the things you need to pay attention to right now, guys, to be in the right direction of the market on the price of ETH. Of course, if ETH begin to move upward, we'll see a lot of altcoin begin to do well, and also Bitcoin as well. Market is going to come back down, in my opinion. So pay attention to all of this in the market. Please don't FOMO in and out of the market, most especially after the Fed interest rate cut tomorrow, or Fed keep rates unchanged. Even though Bitcoin begin to move down, okay, don't panic into position. Do your research, do your analysis before you enter into any position, be it up or down. And this is very, very important. Of course, I believe that the market has bottomed out between the area where the market is right now of $90,000 and this very area of $80,000. And the worst case scenario we can see on Bitcoin is the market coming into this very area of 95, 94,000 and begin to move upward. I don't believe market is going to go below this very area of 94 and $95,000, which is a worst case scenario for me. So what is your thought on the price of Bitcoin? Do you believe that Bitcoin is going to go to $70,000 because people are expecting that on their price action? Other people think it's going to go to 60, 65, and even crazy prediction to $50,000. Comment below in the comment section of this very video. Consider supporting this channel by leaving a like for this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification for more crypto videos like this one. Also check the channel for all that crypto content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.